So let's talk about PvP in D&D.
Oh, that topic. Okay. This is a dangerous territory. Warning, warning. This may actually result in fights, actual fights between players.
Should you allow D&D to have PvP at your table?
I'm in the camp of yes, but extremely important point, do not do it with a new group. Do not do it in a campaign early on, or even
I
in.
would I would argue against your second point, but not your first point. I would
Yeah.
agree, don't do it in a new group, but I would disagree in a group that is for it, you could do it all throughout. I think you run into a lot of really difficult issues
Mm.
though by allowing it, foremost.
Oh yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of issues.
Especially if you got like a
It's
spellcaster.
it's on that short list of things that you can have a good group, and all of a sudden you can throw PvP into it,
And now you've
and,
ruined the group.
and you ruin the group. Yes, because sometimes you have some players who they they're perfectly fine, but they kind of have like the pride in their build of their character,
Yeah.
and then just have the monk defeat them outright
Yep.
with a little effort, or a spellcaster trivializing stuff.
Marshall.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, you get into the situation where some of the worst traits of some people creep out on them pretty quickly.
So
I by the way, I wrecked a most of a PvP with a monk from 2014 D&D early on.
we've had our fair share of
Yeah,
PvP in D&D, if you can't tell.
yeah.
Especially there's been a lot of one shots, which I feel like PvP works well in a one shot.
Oh yeah,
If
but
you
in one shot you still have the problem,
Yes.
because it does trigger into it goes past the character and into the player.
Yes.
Because once you have two players having playing characters and they're clashing up against each other, you can get friction out of that.
Yes. Oh yeah. Mind you, some people can work with them and they can
Mm-hmm.
have fun with it and be its own cool story. For some people it won't. To answer the core question, I suppose, do you allow PvP? Should you allow PvP? I would say no.
It's not in a new group. It's literally in a. Only time I would suggest you would do PvP is if you've played more than one campaign with a group,
Yeah.
and you've actually gotten a really good idea of how players react to adverse situations.
Yeah.
And even then, you're getting into a touchy situation with a player, because you might actually just discover that they are really sensitive about certain things.
Do you think that in tables where PvP is allowed, players killing other players' characters should be a feasibility?
Wow. It should be feasible to maintain the logic of the world, if if a character
Yeah.
truly does decide to kill off another character.
Yes.
However, if we're doing PvP, we might want to test the ground with like a magical battlefield scenario where no one can actually die; they just get resurrected back a moment
Yeah.
later.
They got clerics on standby
Yeah,
with their like two quarterstaffs that they're rubbing together,
yeah,
ready to.
yeah. Because just two players duking it out will cause a lot of friction, and might even start up a fight or
You
argument.
can even
or
start
Yeah,
the group itself taking sides
yeah.
amongst that inner circle.
Yeah, it's like that's no fair to pit a paladin against a fighter or shit
Yes.
like that. Well, it just happens to be the tournament bracket we ended up with.
Yeah, exactly. I myself, I don't really allow PvPs at my table. If I do, I make it really clear that it's allowed.
Yeah.
How about you?
It's basically almost entirely a one-shot thing.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
it's entirely one-shots. I make it clear that this is a specific match, and I might not even do rolled character sets. I just tell people use standard array.
I think the closest I get
Because then
to
you get into that horrible situation where one person rules terrible,
yeah,
and
and
one
then
person
they
rules
feel
really
like they're
good.
screwed over the
Yeah.
entire yeah. I feel like the closest I get to any kind of player versus player in my campaigns is generally contested roll checks. I
Hmm.
don't have them occur very often, but let's take the example of the paladin wants to go and smite the guy on the side of the road, and the other person's trying to hold them back, or maybe the fighter
Hmm.
is and the paladin's holding them back. Maybe if the players themselves can't come to a decision between them of who's stopping who or not stopping who, then I might allow a contested athletics.
Yeah, and even then, in that kind of situation, you might have some groups who get really agitated by that.
Yes.
And we've literally had campaigns where that has occurred.
Yes.
Namely, my brother taking a robo
I
room
remember
and
that.
running over a child goblin.
Yes. Not I.
Not you, my brother John.
Yes.
Running over a child goblin in a road with a big stick, making a carpet as a cape, and causing the player that's playing a paladin and other
Yep.
characters to basically want to hang the little kobold.
Yep. It does happen.
And that's even in a group with really good social cohesion.
Do you allow that style of player versus player at your table? Contested checks.
It's super careful, and it's really just something that it would only really occur between in a group that has very good social cohesion.
I will say that there is a style of contested checks that I would just outright say absolutely not to.
Uh, Basically charming each other.
Persuasion and deception, yes. Well, less so deception, more so persuasion. Because deception isn't necessarily making someone do something,
Yeah.
but I think that it's fine for your character to lie to the other characters. There's nothing inherently wrong with that existing in a group
It
dynamic.
goes in the chain of there's persuasion, which is probably the worst one.
Yes.
Deception is probably in the middle,
Yeah.
and insight is probably the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, starting things out with insight would probably be the safest of the.
Yeah.
Someone's like telling you something, then sure, you can go ahead and insight that.
Yeah.
Is that true? What's
And then
what's
you
your
have
deception
the
roll? And boom.
and then you can have the player define it out
Yeah.
the answer instead of the DM, which is totally fine.
But even then, and in that order, or it's still a little touchy because sometimes people get touchy about how to insight it exactly how they say something.
Yeah.
Like, how could you?
Yeah. How could you have figured that out?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that's the majority I have to say on PvP.
Yeah, it's one of those. Don't do it. Absolutely, don't do it with a new group. If you do it, maybe after a couple campaigns and some
Then you
one
can stick
shots
your toe in there.
where you actually know how each player plays out. Like after someone has each member in the group has played more than 2 or 3 characters for a long period of time. And that way you get a good idea where they play
Yeah.
with each other. And even then, it's like the light stuff like the deception and insight things and stuff like that. Or like arm wrestling contests or something like that. Fun, light stuff. Actual outright battles or hard-on manipulation of other characters.
Absolutely not.
That is like the last thing you might look at. And even then, the vast majority of groups, that is a no.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
there's this tiny case for a group that is perfectly fine with a straight on character combat.
Yes, there
So,
definitely is some people that would
yeah.
be just fine with it.
So,
All right. Before we
but
close out,
that's the super rare. You take your time getting there to find out if that's okay, kind of thing. And I would not advise it still.
all right. I think we're both pretty much on the
Yeah.
same page. Before we close out, let's answer the question in less than 3 words each. Should DMs allow PvP?
No.
I'm gonna say
At first.
probably not.
Yeah.
Say probably not. All right. Thank you for being here. This has been John and Jason. Yes.
And from Tabletop Tap Room.
Tap room.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I watch a lot of YouTube channels, and my brain sometimes switches.
Oh, okay.
Which on the alliteration on things. Tabletop Wisdom.
Got you.
There's another tabletop gaming channel called Tabletop Tap Room.
All right. You guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy the shout
Yep.
out. Have a great day.